Hi, this is Abby here. I'm here today with Madison. She's going to talk to us a little bit about fall. So, Madison, what are some of your favorite things about the fall season?
Well, as you know, fall is my favorite season. But if I had to pinpoint my favorite thing about fall, would probably be the just exquisite scenery and all the beautiful colors that you see, the rich oranges and reds and the crisp, bright yellows that you see.
Why do you think it is that the leaves change color?
So one important thing to know is that leaves contain chlorophyll, and this chlorophyll is what makes the leaves green. However, in the fall, it is too cold for chlorophyll production, so the leaves change colors. The reason that it is too cold is because the earth is tilted away from the sun, thus producing a colder temperature.
I thought the earth only tilted away from the sun during the winter.
Well, it begins to start tilting away more in the fall. Yes, it is true that it is tilted farther away in the winter, but it is tilted farther in the fall than it is in the summer. So you start to see that changing. That's why the leaves are falling and changing colors. And then towards the winter, they really have a more of a bare tree look instead of this beautiful rich colors that we see in the fall.
Okay, so what are some other words that come to mind when you think of fall? What are some vocab for the fall season?
So we think of pumpkins, we think of Halloween, we think of sweaters and things like that. So going back to Halloween, it's actually a concept that was an ancient holiday. It's actually a Celtic tradition. They believe that ghosts roamed on Halloween and people would wear disguises in order to hide from these spirits. Therefore, the traditional Halloween that we see every year has taken place of that Celtic tradition.
So another holiday that comes during the fall season is Thanksgiving. Can you tell us a little bit about maybe the first Thanksgiving?
So the first Thanksgiving was really just celebrating the coming together of the Pilgrims and the Indians to eat like this grand meal to celebrate America and things like that. So now, because of that tradition, we honor that by having lots of food, gathering of people that we love, and just really having a fun, relaxing day.
Are there any interesting facts that we need to know about the fall season, Madison?
Yes, so one of my favorite facts that I have discovered is that during the fall, we call this time harvest. Well, this was a tradition because it comes from the term harvest moon, because that is when a term that means that the moon is closest to the autumn equinox. And that came from before man-made lighting. The moonlight was essential to a prosperous harvest. So that is where we get the name harvest. Another kind of well-known fact that we see about this time of year is people start to gain weight. Well, you're thinking, okay, that's due to all the food they're eating and the Thanksgiving and Halloween candies and then eventually Christmas. But studies have shown that this actually could be due to a lack of vitamin D because there is less sunlight, as we know the days are shorter in the fall. Well, vitamin D, a lack of vitamin D reduces fat breakdown and triggers fat storage. Therefore, we see the gaining of weight in people during this time. And speaking of cravings and food, the Weather Channel has actually reported that pumpkins are the most craved food during this time. But, it's very common to have pumpkin spice things come out and pumpkin pie and things like that. So, retailers and restaurants have really catered to this knowledge.
What days do fall start on and end on?
So the first day of fall is on September 22nd. And this year that was the day. And then this year also ends on Friday, December 21st. So it's about 2-3 month long period of time. And then we transition into winter.
Okay, Madison. So we talked a little bit about the cooler temperatures, and you said it was due to the earth tilting away from the sun.
Yes.
Can you explain to us why Why that is? Why is it that just now? Is it the tilt of the actual Earth, or is it the way it moves around the sun?
So it's definitely related to the way that it moves around the sun. It has something to do with the north and south hemispheres. I won't go into too much of detail about all of this. But we will say that fall ends on the winter solstice, and that is the shortest day of the year, and that's when we have the least amount of sunlight. So all these factors combined with sunlight and earth tilting and things like that produce the colder temperatures, and then that produce the effects of leaves and things like that we see in our fall time.
Okay, Madison, we talked a little bit about the leaves changing color due to the leaves not making the chlorophyll that helps them to stay green. But I've noticed that there are some trees that do stay green. Why is this?
So these trees are called evergreen trees, and they're a very rich green colored tree. You can actually see a lot of them here in North Carolina. So if you're driving around and you notice that all the trees seem bare and they're lacking in their rich colors, it could be due to you're passing a evergreen tree. And as the name hints, it does stay evergreen.
Right. I have noticed that there has been a shortage, if you would say, of birds. Why is this?
So birds are very intuitive animals. They realize that temperatures are getting colder and food might be sparse during this winter season. Therefore, they tend to migrate south towards warmer temperatures where they would find more food. So because of this, they might seem sparse in colder areas because they have been migrating to the warmer southern areas.
Okay, thank you so much, Maddie. I really appreciate the talk about fall. Is there any closing remarks you'd like to make to the viewers?
I would just like to say thank you for having me, and then if you have any other questions, please feel free to contact me. Happy fall!
Thank you.